Well, hello there. We're going to start this explainer off with a pretty bold statement today, and honestly, it might just change the way you garden forever. You see, for decades, you and I have been given some pretty incorrect advice. Oh, it wasn't malicious, of course, but for years, well-meaning neighbors and gardening books have told us that if we want a beautiful flowering summer garden, we absolutely must constantly remove faded blooms. We've been led to believe that we have to spend hours on our knees, keeping the whole thing ticking over like some sort of intricate machine. Well, I am here to tell you that advice is simply not true. There is actually an entire category of perennial plants that literally laughs at the scissors. These are plants that have been producing continuous color all summer long in gardens all across the UK and the USA, without a single person intervening. Honestly, discovering these plants is one of the most freeing moments in any gardener's life. It's the exact moment you realize a truly magnificent summer garden doesn't require constant maintenance.
So today, we're going to explore 9 of these truly remarkable plants together. But before we even look at the very first one, I want to plant a little seed of curiosity for you. I want you to keep the 9th and final plant on today's list in the back of your mind. It's a continuous blooming marvel. Experienced growers absolutely cherish it, yet most gardeners walk straight past it at the garden center. It doesn't shout for attention on the shelf, not at all, but it flowers from June to October with a generosity that experienced growers consistently describe as one of the most extraordinary things in the summer garden. I promise I'll reveal what it is at the very end, so stick around.
So what exactly does self-managing flowering mean? Let me be clear, this is not luck. It's a deliberate understanding of how certain plants are simply designed by nature. You see, these plants have evolved over millennia to maximize their reproductive chances, meaning they are biologically driven to push out fresh buds the very moment an old one fades. They naturally manage their own flowering cycle, producing new growth so quickly that removing the old blooms becomes, well, not just unnecessary, but completely irrelevant. They were shaped by nature to flower continuously. So the gardener's only job? Just plant them in the right place, provide the correct conditions, and simply step back. It really is that simple, and it is genuinely so exciting to watch it unfold in your own borders.
Right. First up, we have Geranium Roseanne. Now, if you're new to this one, actually, let me clarify. This is not the tender bedding geranium you pop into a summer window box. No, this is a true, hardy perennial, and it is an absolute masterpiece of the gardening world. Roseanne begins flowering in early June, producing these stunning violet-blue blooms with a really crisp, bright white center. And the best part? She simply doesn't stop until October, or sometimes even November. She forms this effortless, sprawling mound of color with beautifully marbled leaves, tumbling gracefully over path edges and weaving gently right through your other plants. She adapts remarkably well to almost any soil, too, from heavy clay to sandy loam. And here is a delightful little fact for you. Against a century of spectacular horticultural introductions, she was rigorously judged and awarded the Chelsea Flower Show Plant of the Centennial. She earned that title entirely through sheer unstoppable performance. And if she ever looks a little untidy by midsummer, just cut her back hard, and she'll reward you with a brand new flush of blooms in just 3 weeks.
Let's move to our second plant and see how this can build your garden's architecture. Meet Salvia amorosa. You know, this is kind of the secret weapon of professionally designed gardens. From late May, it produces dense, vertical spikes of rich purple or deep violet. And when one flush fades, the plant just automatically pushes up the next set of fresh spikes right from the base. Literally no intervention from you is needed. If you're shopping for this, look for the variety Cardana. It features these striking black stems that provide an incredible visual contrast to the flowers. Or try Mainoct for a breathtaking deep indigo. And here's exactly why it thrives when you just leave it alone. It develops deep taproots, making it highly drought tolerant once it's established. Oh, and when you brush past its foliage on a warm day, it releases this wonderful spicy sage scent. Plus, those tubular flowers are an absolute magnet for bumblebees. A clump of Salvia amorosa in the baking summer sun is genuinely one of the most vibrant, wildlife-rich sites you can cultivate.
Oh, and just a really quick reminder, the most surprising, self-managing bloomer of them all is still quietly waiting for us at the very end of this list. Now we're moving into a gorgeous trio of midsummer marvels, starting with Nepeta, or catmint. Experienced gardeners quietly consider this their greatest discovery for the front of a sunny border. From June onwards, it produces this soft, billowing haze of lavender blue flowers hovering right above beautiful silver-gray foliage. It releases a fresh, minty, spicy scent that carries beautifully on a warm evening breeze. It's incredibly magical. Now, unlike standard catnip, which can honestly look a bit weedy, ornamental Nepeta behaves beautifully.
Six Hills Giant is a wonderfully generous variety, reaching about 90 centimeters, while Walker's Low is absolutely perfect for softening up your pathway edges. Once established, it is incredibly hardy and asks for almost nothing, thriving even in baking hot, dry spots. If you want, you can cut it back by half in midsummer, and it will reward you with a magnificent second wave of blooms.
Next in our midsummer group is Astrantia. Now, this plant looks like a delicate, intricate florist's creation that should require constant fussing, but let me tell you, it is actually tough as nails. It produces papery, star-shaped flowers with domed centers that look almost like tiny medieval ruffs. The deep red variety Claret, the mid-pink Roma, and the rich red Star of Billion are true showstoppers. The spent flowers simply fade gracefully on the stem as new ones effortlessly emerge right beside them. And honestly, the most delightful, surprising fact about Astrantia, while most heavy, continuous bloomers demand full baking sun, Astrantia genuinely thrives in dappled or partial shade. Imagine tucking this absolute treasure right under the dappled canopy of an old apple tree, where it will happily light up those tricky, darker corners of your garden for months on end. Rounding out our midsummer trio is Scabiosa, also known as the pincushion flower. This plant earns its place in your garden through sheer, relentless generosity. Older varieties used to flop over a bit, but modern, compact cultivars like Butterfly Blue and the warm, soft rose Pink Mist produce an unbelievable number of strong-stemmed blooms from June right through to the very first frosts. They absolutely love a well-drained, slightly chalky or alkaline soil. The spent flowers dry naturally into really attractive little seed heads, while fresh buds open constantly right next to them. And here is a delightful observation that will make you fall completely in love with it. Those flat open flower heads serve as literal landing platforms for butterflies. On a warm afternoon, your Scabiosa will rarely be without 3 or 4 beautiful butterflies just resting and gently feeding on it. We are getting so close now. The unbelievable 9th plant. The garden center's absolute best-kept secret is fast approaching.
All right, our 6th plant is Hemerocallis, better known as the daylily. And I want to clear up the confusing name right away because it often deters new gardeners. Yes, it's true, each individual flower only lasts a single day, but a well-established clump carries dozens and dozens of buds on multiple stems. So even though yesterday's bloom has elegantly faded, there's always another pristine one opening the very next morning. The clump never ever looks spent. Modern repeat blooming varieties like Stella d'Oro in golden yellow, the lemon Happy Returns, and the rose pink Rosy Returns have thick, fleshy roots that store moisture. This makes them virtually indestructible. You could practically plant them by a hot gravel driveway. They tolerate poor soil, dry spells, and complete neglect. Consider this your full permission to entirely ignore them during a summer drought, knowing they'll still offer a continuous display of breathtaking beauty. And that brings us beautifully right to our next plant, Agapanthus. From July to September, it sends up these tall, tremendously strong stems topped with large globes of blue or white flowers. The headborn hybrids are incredibly hardy for cooler gardens, while Midnight Blue offers a deep, rich indigo that just stops you in your tracks. But you know what the most liberating, surprising fact about Agapanthus is? It's how it actually prefers to be grown. It produces its most spectacular, abundant blooms when it is slightly neglected, kept a little dry, and grown in containers with restricted roots. It absolutely loves a tight squeeze in a small patio pot in full sun. And don't you dare cut those stems when the blooms fade. The heads develop into beautiful architectural seed pods that look absolutely incredible caught in a sparkling December frost.
Now, as summer kind of starts to fade into autumn, you might think the effortless color has to end. But our next plant proves that theory completely wrong. It is one of the absolute longest performing plants on our list, carrying us effortlessly right into the cooler months.
Our 8th perennial is Echinacea, the coneflower. It produces gorgeous daisy-like flowers with swept-back petals and a prominent raised central cone that has a wonderfully rough, almost bristly texture. Varieties like the warm pink Magnus, the elegant white swan, and the rich, multicolored Cheyenne Spirit offer an astonishing longevity of display from July right into October. They absolutely thrive in full sun and well-drained soil. But the true magic of Echinacea happens after the colorful petals finally fall away. The orange-brown cones remain standing proudly on their strong stems right through autumn and winter. If you just leave them be, you transform your garden into a natural feeding station. Watching colorful goldfinches perform acrobatics to extract the seeds on a crisp, frosty autumn morning is genuinely one of gardening's greatest rewards.
Which brings us, finally, to the most generous, longest performing plant on our entire list. The secret is out.
And now, here we are. We have arrived at the 9th plant, the extraordinary marvel I promised you at the very beginning.
That plant is penstemon. Let me tell you the story of why this is the greatest unsung hero of the summer garden. In April, when everyone is rushing to the garden center to buy their summer plants, penstemon often looks like a plain, uninspiring green twig sitting quietly in a plastic pot. So naturally, people walk right past it to buy the louder, showier plants. But experienced gardeners, the ones who have tried almost everything, consistently name penstemon as one of their most deeply valued plants. From June, it begins producing elegant spikes of tubular flowers. And as those blooms cleanly fall away, continuous waves of fresh buds effortlessly replace them. This unstoppably generous plant will reward you with glorious color right up into the final warm weeks of October, providing an absolute sense of relief when everything else in the garden is dying back. It's wonderfully drought-tolerant, it's a massive draw for bumblebees, and in mild winters, its foliage even remains beautifully evergreen.
And the visual variety you get to choose from with these? Oh, it's just stunning. Husker Red pairs dark bronze red foliage with pink-white flowers, and let me tell you, it looks absolutely amazing planted next to anything with silver foliage. Garnet is a much-loved, highly reliable, rich wine red. Apple Blossom offers a soft, elegant pink that fairly glows in the evening light, while Sour Grapes provides a sophisticated, smoky purple blue that landscape designers absolutely adore. And if your garden needs some real heat, there is the vivid, show-stopping scarlet of Firebird. I promise you, the next time you see that plain-looking penstemon sitting quietly on the shelf at the garden center, you will never, ever walk past it again.
So, how do we actually start building this beautifully liberated garden? Well, keep it incredibly simple and achievable. You do not need to do this all at once. Choose just 3 plants from this list that spark genuine joy for you. Plant them this season, making sure you give them the right sun and the right drainage based on what we've explored today. Then, give yourself permission to simply step back. Watch them thrive. Enjoy the incredible beauty they bring to your space. You can always add more the following year. A magnificent, blooming garden is absolutely within your reach and without the overwhelming workload.
I really hope this explainer has shown you that a low-maintenance garden isn't some sort of compromise. It's a far wiser, more joyful way to grow. Consider this your official permission to put the scissors down. Take your precious time back, sit in a comfortable garden chair, watch the bumblebees, and simply enjoy nature doing all the beautiful work for you. If you found this helpful, please give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive. And most importantly, leave a comment below telling me which of these 9 extraordinary plants you're going to try first. I read every single comment. After all, if a garden is meant to be a place of peace, shouldn't the plants do most of the work for you? Think about what you could do with all those reclaimed summer weekends. Happy growing, everyone!